Hello, in this video, I would like to explain several practice questions on loanable funds market. So let's look at this question first. It tells you this figure shows two demand and supply for loanable funds curve, right? And it gives you this graph. Ask, which of the following movements shows the effect of households' decision to save more? So look at this graph first. It shows you there are two demand curve and there are also two supply curves, right? And then there is a scenario that the households decide to save more. So when households decide to save more, what happens? So households decide to save more. When households decide to save more, which will first increase the private saving, right? So the private savings will increase. As the private saving increase, it will also result in the national saving increase. And national saving is the most important supply side, right, from the loanable funds. Therefore, we will notice if the national saving increase, it will shift the supply curve of loanable funds to the right-hand side, okay? So that will shift the supply curve of loanable funds to the right. Nothing changes from demand side, okay? Nothing changes from demand side. So let's look at this graph. I will just draw to another graph here. I will put the loanable funds quantity here, and then there will be our real interest rate, right? So let me first draw a graph on this part, okay? We assume there is an only demand curve, okay, marked as D1, and originally the supply curve is S2. Now household decide to save more, right? Therefore, it will shift the supply curve of loanable funds to the right-hand side, right? And that will shift from S2 to S1, which will result in two equilibrium points, right? We have the original equilibrium points is here. If corresponding to this graph, it should be at point B, right? And after we shift the supply curve to the right-hand side, it will result in a new equilibrium points at point A. So it could be from point B to point A, okay? A shift from point B to point A. Or if you look at another demand curve, okay, I treat this one as Q, and this is still our real interest rate, okay? And this is D2, okay? This is our original supply side from the loanable funds. Now it will also, when households save more, it will also shift the supply curve to the right-hand side, right? So it will shift the supply curve to the right-hand side. And you can notice corresponding to from this graph to this graph, you might notice this could be our original point C, right? And then this could be our new equilibrium points at point F. So this questions could have two possible answers. One is movement from B to A. It will reflect households' decision to save more if we have the demand curve as D1. Or if the demand curve is D2, then it could be the movement from C to F. Okay, so both A to B is correct or C to F is correct. Now look at those two options. A to B, this is not correct because from our analysis, it should be from B to A, or a movement from C to F. This is correct. Okay? Let's look at another practice question on loanable funds market. So we have the GDP, right, will equal to $5 trillion, consumption equal to 3.1 trillion, we have the government purchase equal to 0.7 trillion, and then we also have the tax equal to 0.9 trillion. It tells you, suppose for this economy, the relationship between the real interest rate and investment is given by this equation, okay? And then this question will ask you to compute the equilibrium real interest rate for this loanable funds market. So this is the questions basically combined their saving and investment and the loanable funds market. So let's see how to solve for these questions step by step. I will first write down some useful information given by this question. Okay, we have GDP, okay? Y equal to GDP equal to $5 trillion. And we also have consumption, right? Equal to 3.1 trillion. We also have the government purchase equal to 0.7 trillion. So 0.7 trillion. And then we have the tax equal to $0.9 trillion. Okay, so based on this information, can you compute the national saving? Can you compute the national saving? So as we talk about in a closed economy, national saving will always equal to, so let me just write it down. National saving will always equal to investment, right? Equal to Y subtract consumption, subtract government spending. Therefore, based on this, we can first compute investment, or we will say the national saving equal to $5 trillion, subtract 3.1 trillion, subtract 0.7 trillion, which will give us $1.2 trillion as saving or investment, right? And in a loanable funds market, we notice when the market reached the equilibrium, investment will equal to saving, right? So we have, this is the given equation of the investment, right? So we can also write it down. This investment, it is also equal to 10.78 minus 3.03 interest rate. Okay, so based on this, we now have this part will equal to $1.2 trillion. So can you compute the real interest rate now? The real interest rate at the circumstances will equal to 10.78 subtract 3.03 interest will equal to 1.2. Therefore, we can get 3.03 interest rate will equal to 10.78 subtract 1.2, right? So based on this, we can finally compute the real interest rate will equal to 10.78 subtract 1.2, and then finally divide 3.03. So based on this, we can compute the real interest rate, because in the loanable funds market, R here, okay, this is the R, the real interest rate, right? Represents for the real interest rate.